Dawn, thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Lovely to be here, Devon.
Well, we saw a 1.5 percentage point gain on the JSE. I mean, last week also, a bit of a seesaw ride for the JSE. Good news is that we were up today, but you would argue that this is just international factors, nothing domestically pushing this market.
You know, I think there was a growth right across the board today. And in many cases, yes, we hang on to the coattails of what is happening overseas when we don't have our own local news. But you have to look at NASPERS. 9 times out of 10, it's NASPERS that is driving it, or we don't really know why. With the lunar holiday, I mean, China is closed, but NASPERS performed exceptionally well today, and you know, the JSE followed on the footsteps.
But having said that, I looked at banks, I looked at retailers, and they've done exceptionally well on the day. This despite the rand losing some ground when compared to Friday. Why are retailers and banks doing well?
Well, I think with retailers, you have to look and see. It's really a sort of a bounce on the previous very bad trading conditions over the last few days. So really it's just a bounce back. It was probably oversold and people have sort of reconsidered their positions and say, right, maybe it's not quite as bad as we thought it was, and you're getting it coming back from there. And with banks, I think there was this general sort of slight euphoria in the market, which lifted everything up. But tomorrow, who knows what will happen.
Now, the cement maker or producer, PPC, in a trading update telling us that volumes are low. Now, whenever you have a cement producer telling you that volumes are low, you just wonder, well, is this economy not active enough and not putting up enough buildings? What's your take on what PPC is saying today?
Well, PPC in the cement industry and the construction industry is a leading indicator for the economy, which is of concern. So if we aren't building, we need to say, is it because the economy is slowing, or is it in reaction to perhaps the uncertainty around things like property rights, for example, starting to play through into the market?
Rising commodity prices playing out well for Anglo-American. They are expecting to double that profit. Good news for them.
Yes, it is. Palladium has obviously, you know, performed exceptionally well. Yeah. And, you know, the platinum is closely associated with palladium, and palladium has been increasing because the increase of petrol-driven cars rather than diesel-driven cars. And so, yes, but on the whole, I think commodities are going to continue to be under pressure as China cools down, and they are the biggest consumers of commodities after all.
So we've got the US President talking to the nation in a few hours' time.
State of the Union.
On Thursday, we've got President Cyril Ramaphosa talking to South Africans in the State of the Nation address. I mean, both these events, as I asked the broker yesterday as well, will have an effect on currencies, particularly the rand. How do you see these events moving the local currency?
You know, currencies are driven by sentiment. Then, you know, they're not driven by rationality, and there's a lot of day trading that goes on behind it. So it's actually very difficult to say which way it's going. I mean, just earlier today they were saying that the strengthening of the dollar was because of the State of the Union address. They're now saying the weakening is because. So it's, you know, who can really tell what is happening there? I think everybody is treading water. Although I don't really think that he's going to have anything to say that he hasn't already said. I don't think he's going to make any substantial difference. Donald Trump, that is.
Right, we're going to leave you there. Thanks very much indeed. Dawn Riddler, founder of Karenga Wealth Ecology, talking to us there about the markets.